starting off high.
We can get
I think
two fools agree on that one. Oh, by the way, look, we got the wide shot.
There was you had accountability. Now what I can
Now all you need is a podcast and a YouTube channel.
no, not even.
Where give me the money. Show me the money.
Apparently there's a Foolproof page.
Shoot the J. Shoot it. Live on Facebook.com/Foolproof Entertainment Network. I need you on Twitter. I need you to repost the Facebook pages.
To raise a human before I would
Trust a human to raise back wolves.
before I would trust a pack of humans to raise a wolf.
Right. I hear you. Yo, what up, fools? Welcome to another edition of Do Fools Agree. As always, I am your host, Michael Reggie, here with my main man, Clifford Jordan Jennings.
That would be me.
What's going on, man? How's your week?
It was all right. It shot by.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Right.
Another one bites the dust.
Slowly but surely.
You know?
Itching our way towards,
Closer
hopefully a
to
couple
the
days.
holidays.
I was about to say, hopefully just a couple of days next week to get to the holidays.
Right.
You got time next week?
Yeah, I think we get off Friday, so I think I only got to work Monday through Thursday.
All right. Yeah, I was hoping to take
I don't know.
I was hoping to take the full 2 weeks off here at the end of the year because I got time left, but
Oh, you got unlimited PTO. What
now
you
I
mean?
do. No, it starts first of the year,
Oh.
but I have time left, and
I
got shit I gotta do Monday and Tuesday.
And I'll be calling HR like, I know it's unlimited. Let me cash that in before the 1st.
Right? No doubt. How do you cash in unlimited?
You tell me. You gave it to me. Cash me in.
That's actually why they did it, so they didn't have to keep paying people out for their PTO, their required PTO.
That makes sense. It's always
There's always a hook.
all right.
I mean, the people that are saltiest about it are the old timers that have been there like 20 plus years. They were in like the 40-day.
Right.
Like, what's the point now? Well,
Use 20, can pay me for 20.
Right.
Well, I mean, our job didn't cash out PTO anyway. You don't use it, you lose it.
Right. Well, and that's the way a lot of places are. Like, I think technically we only are allowed to carry over 5 days from year to year. And even then, you got to use them in basically the first 60 days of the new year.
Oh, really?
They burn out. Yeah. It's interesting. I don't know, man. It's been a busy week.
Has it?
Yeah. Some of it's my own doing, but some of it's work.
I could have swore that you said that this was the week you were off.
I mean, it's possible. I might have misspoke. But now I'm off. I was hoping to be off the
This
last
week.
2 weeks.
But this is the one. Okay.
This upcoming one, yeah. So, am planning to see Spider-Man. Am planning to see Ghostbusters. Is Matrix coming out on HBO Max? I think it is. Is it day and date?
I'm not sure on that. I'm not sure. I have seen a few things about it, but I don't know where it comes out.
Yeah, I don't know. And I think that one comes out not this week, next week. I think Witcher dropped today, too.
Today?
Yeah.
I was wondering because I've been checking back in and I hadn't seen it.
Nah, I think it dropped today.
Okay. I might have to get on that.
Yeah. And then Book of Boba Fett drops next week on Disney Plus. Or the week after on Disney Plus. So, got a couple of things coming up. Something to watch.
All right.
Try to keep busy.
Shit.
You got any inadvertents to get us going tonight?
I got I got a couple.
And I got a reminder on one in case you don't get to it. So
a reminder. What one that I did?
One that you sent me at the beginning of the week.
Oh right, yeah. But no, my first inadvert, I got a couple actually.
Well, that's good because I don't know if this main topic's going to carry us the whole show. So
I don't know if it is either since I left my notes. I had a whole page of notes and everything, and now I'm gonna have to remember off the top of my head. But I don't know which is more outlandish, really. I don't know which one to begin with more. I guess first, I know which one's more outlandish, at least to me. But first, did you hear about that whole Sex and the City incident?
No.
It just
incident, or did something happen on the show, or like
it wasn't like no Alec Baldwin type shit or nothing like that.
Okay.
It was so basically what happened was the new what do you call it? The new one that they just came out with.
Okay.
They killed off the dude, Mr. Biggs, that had been on there.
Gotcha.
And they killed him by heart attack while he was riding on a Peloton.
Okay.
So
Peloton sued them?
No. What happened was the Peloton stock dropped 11% over the next, I think, 3 days, they said.
Okay.
And they had to release a commercial basically explaining how it's a TV show and that
these things is not real life.
Right, that the elliptical decreases your chance of having a heart attack. And I just thought to myself, like, who were the dumb motherfuckers that were like, exercise? Like, let's sell our stock because someone died
in a TV show.
In a TV show, exercising, attempting to strengthen his heart. Like, fair. I feel like I don't need, and I don't mean to.
I don't know. See, I almost have mixed feelings on this because of the situation with Anthony. Like the fact that Anthony died after, like, having a heart attack during or immediately following teaching a fucking kickboxing class.
Right, but that was also his job too.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Like, that's different. So that's either, I see that as one of two different things. Either you overworked yourself.
True. Like
throughout those because you don't just do one a day. So right. You either overworked yourself throughout that day and continued to push, and your heart was like, okay, enough.
You're too big for this shit.
Right. Or it was a situation where you weren't conditioned enough going into this to handle as many classes what you were doing. You know, a rapid
I don't know details behind where he was and all that shit.
You know, but those are just the thoughts that I get when I see something like that. But when you're thinking about a TV show where somebody is just routinely exercising, they're not on that bike 8 hours a day. No. 8 hours a day, 5 days a week.
But you know what's interesting is I know at least 3 or 4 people in my life personally that have had heart attacks a day or two after having to do a stress test.
What's the stress? Oh, like
at the doctor's office, running on a treadmill, like shit like that.
Right.
Like, not going to say the stress test killed them, but strange coincidence that I know at least 2 or 3 people in my life that died or had heart attacks after going through a stress test.
But I think that's different too, right? Because that's what it's for.
Right.
It's to raise your levels, to get your body uncomfortable from what it normally.
But then you died or have a heart attack 2 days later, like, might be a better way to test that kind of shit.
No, I definitely agree with that. And I guess no, I don't think that working out is that. Working out shouldn't be a stress test. Working out should be gradually moving your body in the right direction to where it can handle more and more and more and more. It shouldn't be a shock
to your system.
Right. So even still with his routine workout, even if you decided to go hard a day, you can't then blame that on the Peloton.
No. Not at all.
Maybe you hit the Peloton too late.
Well, and on top of that, like, so I understand the stock dropped did like sales or anything drop significantly for Peloton?
I don't know.
Like,
They didn't really get into that.
Like, it's one thing for the stock to drop. It's another if like the company took a hit, meaning like they saw their sales immediately dip.
Right.
I also don't think that the Sex and the City reboot on HBO Max. I mean, I haven't heard much about it. I wouldn't have expected it to be popular enough to drop a stock.
Affect the
But
Peloton.
But maybe it was.
I don't know. I feel like that's the marquee demographic.
Yeah.
You know, the
That's
older
true, like,
woman that wants to stay in shape.
That's true. Like the 30
still
to 50
semi-single, going out, so let me work out.
All right.
Same with the man, the newly divorced man, let's get back in shape.
I'm willing to bet it wasn't men that stopped buying Peloton because of something that happened in Sex and the City.
Oh, I'm sure it wasn't.
Maybe some middle-aged gay dudes stopped and got rid of their Peloton.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm sure that tracks. I'm sure there's a few Carries out there they identify as. That's what
I think that's
the main one, right?
Is that the main one?
I don't know.
Is that Sarah SJP? Sarah Jessica Parker?
I don't know.
Horseface?
She definitely has a long
that's mean.
Long jowl on her.
I apologize. Sorry, Sarah.
Has a long jowl.
I also have to issue it's not even a Do Fools Agree apology. It's more of a Do Fools Agree public service announcement. So, last week, we got into our musical debate, which, by the way, really fun episode. Loved it.
What musical debate?
Wasn't even debate. It wasn't even debate. We were reminiscing on songs
I
from
remember that.
like the 97s through like 2002.
Right.
And had a friend call us out on the fact that we couldn't pinpoint what year Still DRE, Next Episode, and Forgot About Dre came out. The album is called The Chronic 2001.
Right, it sure is. Right. What year did we say?
I think we said like 98 or 99.
Did we?
We were in the late 90s realm, and we brought up those. Again, here's the bottom line. So I will acknowledge that, yes, we may have gotten the year wrong. And on top of that, if you're looking to the fools for facts, you got bigger issues. The show is called Do Fools Agree?
I'm going to say may have gotten the year wrong. And I feel like if I got it wrong, I would have went higher than lower.
Yeah.
Because I think I remember saying I was playing that CD at a family reunion when I was in high school, which would have been 2000 to 2000. Right. But
taking over for the 99 to 2000.
Yeah, I feel like I would have said 2002 or something, but I could have said, I don't think, but I could have said 99.
They were just making fun of us, but I had to throw out that public service announcement. If you're trying to get facts from the fools, it's probably not the best idea.
I wasn't the biggest Dr. Dre fan anyway, to be honest with you.
Y'all forgot about Dre.
Listen. Y'all could have left him.
Just gone.
Y'all could have left him.
Still.
In my opinion.
Those all around the world still hitting them corners and the lolos, girl.
Yeah, I'm good on all that. I'm good. I mean, it was all right for the time, but I wasn't just bumping.
I just like the vibe of the Still DRE video because it felt like nothing but a G thing, so.
Yeah, I just wasn't bumping Dr. Dre, you know?
I was. I mean, you had to bump the dude that was propping up Eminem as a white guy. So, it was just requirement.
That makes sense.
Circling back to your inadvertent thought from earlier in this week, you sent me as you do from week to week, you sent me a World Star video.
Oh, that cartel, when the cartel put up on those gay dudes?
Yes, the cartel pulling up on these two gay dudes, and the cartel treated them better than the police.
Listen, you
treat
knew
a black man.
You knew that was gonna
like,
be
okay, you're okay. You're okay.
Like they couldn't even communicate with each other.
Right.
And they still handled the situation
better than police do young black men in America.
I didn't understand. Like, I almost thought to myself, like, Fuck the police. Bring the cartel in this bitch.
Let's let the cartel run shit.
Why not?
I mean,
that situation did not have to go down like that.
Well, no, it's good that it went down like that, right?
I mean, it is good. Like it almost swayed the way I look at
the cartel.
Right. Now, not to say that I look at them hella negative to begin with.
Right.
Like, I'm not the guy that thinks they're horrible. I think they learned from the best, us.
D&D has classifications. And there are I think there's 9 of them. It's your alignment.
Uh-huh.
You've got lawful, neutral, and chaotic.
Right.
And then you've got good, neutral, evil.
Right.
Cartel is probably in that lawful evil, lawful neutral stage.
Right.
American cops probably more in the neutral
saying,
good, maybe.
I'm not even saying,
or the
no,
neutral
I'm not
chaotic.
even comparing the cartel to the police. I'm comparing the cartel to our government.
Oh, okay.
That was the whole Scarface era.
True.
Was the government buying and selling drugs and distribution to and doing all that on the low, though, speaking of Dr. Dre.
Well played.
You know? They did that on the low and didn't let anybody know about it. Now, the cartel does the same thing openly and a little more honorably.
True.
And we look at them like they're the devils over the border. I don't get that because it's like, no, the devil originated here.
Right.
This is the devil. The devil originated here.
We're just mad that they did it better.
Right. Because trust and believe, if they were the first to do that, they would have been shut down.
True.
The only reason why they're not shut down now is because they're not a threat. They're
Right.
not big enough for us to really be worrying about them.
Right.
And the fact that you can even say the cartel isn't big enough for us to be worrying about them lets you know exactly how big we once were or still are.
Right.
Now, we like to push the narrative off on a Mexico, a Colombia, a Cuba, but the truth and the fact of the matter is we're the big dogs.
No doubt.
And always have been. Whether it be the drug game, the sex trafficking game,
The weapons game.
what you name it, we're the big dogs. So it's like when you see something like that and you see the cartel acting in a manner like that, you start to think, oh, you've been spinning this to me differently.
Yeah.
You've been trying to make it seem like they are.
Right.
So it looks like you are the protector of.
Right. Well, and I mean, at the same time, growing up where I grew up, across the freeway, the line always was, don't start no shit, won't be no shit, right? Mind your damn business, and people leave you alone. I find that to be, for the most part, I'm not saying there isn't collateral damage sometimes.
Right.
But probably 95% of the time, that's a pretty true fucking statement.
Right.
Like, if you don't get caught up in the game, usually the game ain't gonna come for you.
Right.
Now, if you go putting your nose in places where it doesn't belong or in shit that doesn't involve you, you're making yourself a part of the game. You're on the board at that point.
I mean, that's always how I've understood it.
Right. And I mean, did I deal with a little bit of shit here and there growing up? Yeah,
Everybody
but for
does.
the most part, it was kids being kids more than anything else.
It wouldn't have mattered if you was white in the black neighborhood or black in the black neighborhood or, you know?
Right. No, completely agree.
I got jumped in my own neighborhood before. I mean, shit happens, you know? That's just the way it goes.
And we're still here.
Right.
And probably part of the reason is wasn't really any retaliation.
Right.
Wasn't really calling the cops. Wasn't really doing anything.
Right. You just took your lumps.
Shit happened.
Yeah, I
took
got
your
fucked
lumps
up.
and moved on.
I'll be back tomorrow.
Right.
Hopefully I don't run into them again.
Right. Maybe I'll take a different way home.
Right.
I'm going to go down the other street and cut over on that one instead of that one.
Yeah, shit happens. But, yeah, I just thought that was wild to me. Like,
well, what was more entertaining? Was it the gay dudes who couldn't handle it? or the cartel being like, it's okay.
right.
What's your name?
Right. They was shaking hands and everything.
I'm Eric. I'm Jason.
He said, no problem.
You okay?
No problem. He said, please don't kill us. Just don't kill us. Please. That shit was funny, though. I'm not going to lie. It was funny. But the crazy thing is, even when they found out that they had a camera in the car, their tone didn't change with
No, it was the same tone the whole time.
Just stop the camera, please. Cut the camera off.
Right.
But it wasn't, nothing ever.
So did those dudes publish that? Like,
I don't know.
Did those two dudes in the car publish
They
it?
Probably,
or did
friends,
the cartel?
They probably friends with them now.
Or did the cartel take their phones and market it themselves?
Right. Like,
let's see, we're not that bad.
I'm still rocking with the cartel.
Bueno.
Listen, I'm still rocking with the cartel. If they marketed to try to get that shit. I don't mean rocking with. I ain't got no job or nothing.
Yet.
Listen, if y'all motherfuckers hiring the way this country doing, you gonna have some motherfuckers jumping the wall your way. Let me renew my Duolingo account.
You know what's funny is I got offered a trip to Punta Cana. Well, I guess that's Dominican.
Listen, Punta Cana.
One of our friends has a trip next week, and she was like, "You want to go?" I'm like, if you had given me a month's notice instead of a week's notice, I'd be there.
Listen,
I'll let you guess who's going to the Dominican.
Oh, I already know.
Oh man.
It's but she speaks Spanish, so she does.
Right. She's fluent.
She all right. She'll be able to talk her way out of
Dominican poppies, you know. I don't know if she currently has Dominican in her, but love you.
I will not participate.
Looks like I'm gonna sit this one out.
I will not participate. I don't know what you got.
I mean, what are the different jobs we could get with the cartel?
You gotta get a 33 and me, 33 and me to find out what you got in you for me. I don't know. Ask them. Shit.
That was a sex joke, Cliff.
Right. I don't know if 33 and me can help with that, but ask them. What if you could 33 and me a female's box?
Determine what
just
races she slept with.
Just take a swab and it gives you back the origins of all the
men she slept with.
I don't really care about the race so much as the number. Why?
Does the number bother you? Does the body count bother you?
No, the body count doesn't really bother me, but it's the number of the different. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like if you running through the list,
right? If you try to
ethnicities, I can only assume you did at least two of each one, right?
Right.
Because you did it once, and then you had to see.
You had to validate. You had to validate.
So you did it at least twice.
You have to validate your test results.
If there's like 15 different ethnicities on there, I can only assume that your body count is probably around 75. Still not a big deal, but it's like it'll tell you a lot about a motherfucker. It'll definitely tell you a lot about a motherfucker. Listen, these ladies better hope they can't 23 and me a pussy, because I don't know how many dudes done swabbed the baby's mouth just to make sure they the dad. What you think they go? What you think they gonna do to you in your sleep? When they try to test your motherfucking box, make sure you ain't. That's all I got to say. Shit.
Just happy that it's all human DNA in there.
Listen, now that's where it gets crazy. I don't even know if 23 and me can help with that. They'd be like, couple races we couldn't identify. Don't know if we've ever had a genetic makeup for those.
These are missing some key pieces of
Then you know
DNA. I'm
something.
not sure that's.
Then you really know something. Shit.
Oh shit. I don't know.
Where were we? How did we
That started
get on
off with the cartel, and then we got into the Dominican, and then we got into.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. See, it all made sense.
Yeah,
It all
it did.
flowed nicely.
Yeah, I don't understand how I didn't keep up with that.
It happens.
But jobs with the cartel, I would be a driver.
A driver.
I would be the guy that points out that they have a camera in the car.
You'd be the spotter.
Yeah. I would definitely be the guy that
See, I think you're thinking too small.
says, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. I would definitely do that position. If that's open, I'll take that.
See, you're thinking too small. I want to be the chief marketing officer for the cartel.
Listen, but then
we're just gonna show it side by side with the U.S. government.
But
And
then
show
you-
what happens.
listen, but then you stuck in the Ozarks at that point.
That's true.
See me, then I'm coming up to you like, it's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's not.
Right, it's not
Click,
okay.
click, boom.
It's not okay.
What about chief operations officer?
yep.
I'll help them figure out
See,
their logistics.
I have to have a position that pays enough for me to be comfortable, but it's not important enough that you don't remember the guy that did that job before him.
Gotcha. I hear you on that.
You know what I mean? That way I could just into
Fade
the
into
bushes like Homer. And they'd be like, was he even Mexican?
Hey, you don't know, man.
Right? Then I'll
Close
grow
the
my hair
doors.
back out. Then I'll grow my hair back out and then unbutton my top button. I'm playing.
Oh, man.
What other job would I take? I would take recruiter, HR. Give me an HR
There you go,
position.
HR job.
I can pick them.
You
This
do
is a
read people
killer.
pretty well.
This is a killer right here. You need him. He has a good head on his shoulders. He might be good in the lab. You know.
This one, nah, I don't trust him.
Yeah. It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
I need to know where Derek and Jason are, though.
Right.
Are they okay?
They probably hanging from their ankles from a fucking palm tree somewhere.
I'm telling you, the cartel's the one that published that video. No one has seen Derek and Jason.
Right. Right. World Star might have to do an update.
Right? Can somebody let us know at World Star if Derek and Jason are okay? I don't even think that was their names, but
Listen, if Derek and Jason ain't make it, and they did them after they cut the video off, I still respect them more than the police, because at least what led up to their death was peaceful.
was more peaceful than the police
Right.
would have been. Get out of the fucking car!
Right, and that's what I'm saying. It's a shame that you can even joke like that, but it's the truth.
It's funny because it's true.
Right. Like, it's the fucking truth. Like,
If we didn't laugh, we would be in tears.
or something. Or something. Or they be in my house 2 weeks after my funeral and see numbers and letters written all over the walls in charcoal.
Well, the good news is we're on a list now because we're openly talking about wanting jobs with the cartel. So
Listen. Well, let me get to my, if we can make it any worse, let me get to my
the other
third
inadvertent
inadvertent.
thought. Here we go.
So, let me start this off by white folks have entirely too fucking much money. Let me start it off by saying that.
Can I pause you real quick? Are you going to remember what you were talking about?
Yes, I am.
All right. I needed you at Speedway today.
Why?
There was this older black woman came in.
Ask for money?
No, she was asking if she could have her coffee for free because I'm sure she had her rewards points or whatever. It
Right.
was just like the line was long. She was just trying to get out.
Right.
And she said, like, I could just walk out like that old white dude that comes in here every day. And I'm like, and I'm literally standing at the register as she says this. And I'm like, yeah, fucking white people. I paid my bill and I walked out.
What'd she say?
She just laughed. The cashier and the woman both laughed. Like, he got it. He knows.
Listen.
All right, continue your story.
Did you hear about the motherfuckers buying land inside of the metaverse?
No, but I know like the Internet of Things right now, and like IoT is like big right now. But this is buying like real world land that's created in the metaverse or created in like a separate virtual place, right?
White folks have too much money.
They were buying land in virtual reality.
Buying land in a place where there's infinite land.
I mean, it's
if
probably,
you're a
in fairness,
programmer, you could create your own metaverse.
In theory, it's not just white folks. There's a lot of Asians that do this shit too.
I'm sure the Asian community is involved. I'm sure that there's some, I don't want to call them the wrong thing. I don't even know what to call them. Who are the motherfuckers from Dubai and all that?
Indians.
Are they Indians?
I mean,
call them an Indian?
Dubai is, yeah.
I was going to call
but
them
I'm sure there are other...
Emiratian.
Well, there are a lot of different nationalities and countries and things over there.
Right, right. But
Middle Eastern.
But that's like saying that, Chinese are Indians.
Indians are Asian.
Right, that's what
That's
I meant.
what it is.
That's what I was getting at.
Yeah, I got you.
I had it backwards. But, yeah, I guess. Well, I'm sure it's some Indians involved, not even Dubai. And I don't mean like Native American Indians, because they probably like, we already gave y'all motherfuckers too much land. We trying to take some of that shit back. You definitely ain't getting nothing in the metaverse. We building pipes over that shit as we speak.
They're actually choosing not to buy it in the metaverse because they know if they do, white folks would just come in and force them out again.
They'd be like, now, dub this metaverse, so they think they'd be like, how did we go from a population of 250 to just 15 in this bitch? What happened?
What happened?
All the metaverse houses are boarded up. Like, what the fuck is going on?
How did did smallpox become a virtual virus? A computer virus?
I don't know what the fuck.
Oh, again, it's only funny because it's true.
Listen, I'm just saying. But my inadvert that came from that, beyond that white folks have too much money. And it is white folks too, because nobody else thought of that. I guarantee, I am willing to bet.
It's quite possible it was developed in Japan. Quite possible.
You could be right.
Yeah.
You could be right. I'm still willing to bet the idea of selling
there were
land
probably white folks involved.
Were white folks.
We're trying to be land barons not only in the physical world, but also in the digital world.
I'm willing to bet. So listen. My inadvert was like, okay, so these motherfuckers is selling land inside of a VR headset. We already talked last week about how eventually they're going to keep a motherfucker in-house and you just going to be working out of the VR.
Right.
Now, if these motherfuckers think that they are going to charge me rent in the real world
and in the virtual
VR world, I'm seceding this fuck-ass country and I'm getting a job with the cartel. On me. I'm telling you right now, and I don't care who looks into it. I don't give a fuck.
Charging me rent?
Listen, I'm not
charging me for physical goods and digital goods.
Metaverse rent, man, y'all can suck a cyber dick.
I mean, are we already there though? Like, we both pay for Xbox Live. I'm sure we've both paid for some form of virtual currency in the past.
Well, that's different, right?
How's that different? Explain to me how that's different.
Because you're providing me something in return for what I'm paying you.
Right. You're doing that in the metaverse.
No. You're providing me with a lot.
Uh-huh.
A fake estate. But what can I do with that estate? You feel what I'm saying? At least...
What can you do with land in the real world? You could build something on it. You have to pay money to build something on it.
But why do I care to build anything on that?
I don't know. Why do you care if your video game character has, like, the coolest shit?
I'm not the guy that does. I'm the guy that ranks up the shit I want and leaves. I buy one outfit. I wear that the whole time I play the game.
I'm just saying.
I'm like that in the real world. If I have one outfit, I'll wear that.
I have 4 pairs of jeans and about 100 black tees. The only thing that distinguishes the black tees is whether or not Clip's put anything on them.
I'm just saying. That's about how it goes with me.
Maybe 2 or 3 polos. And I keep all the dress shirts from when we were in the office,
Lord
so that
forbid,
if we ever
I
have to go back.
to a physical interview. I don't even think I have like slacks and dress shoes.
I have them, but none of them will fit.
Well, that's why I don't have any slacks, and I'm not about to just be buying slacks, especially when we're interviewing Zoom now. Like,
all you need is the button up on the
in the tie. I'm asshole. I'm asshole from the waist down in my drawers, sitting on a fold-out chair. What are you saying?
That's not good for your back, man. You should invest in an office chair.
Listen, it'll be all right. No, I sit on the, I am going to be curved like a motherfucker. I'm going to be cripping when I get older. Whole body curved.
Those folding chairs.
Stool.
Yeah, no, I've seen. I couldn't do it, man. My back would have been done.
No, I don't really have back issues.
Well, that's good. Yeah. Although if you're a year in, you're probably fine.
I'm more than a year in on that stool.
Right.
And the crazy thing is, I'll get off work and go on the game and sit on that same stool for 4 more hours. 12 hours sitting on the stool with my hands on my knees like this. I said for 12 hours, didn't I? I don't know.
8 and 4, yeah. That'd be 12.
I thought I said 8. I don't know what I said. Shit. I don't know. Chronic 2001. 99, whatever.
It's all the same shit. It's roughly the same era.
Listen, it's roughly the same CD.
You're not wrong.
But yeah, cartel jobs applications. So we finished my inadvert. Did you have one?
No, I really didn't this week. I was trying to think through a couple and nothing really clicked.
I don't think I had additional. I wish I had my notes, but let's get into it. Let's get into this the 27 Club.
All right, you want to give a rundown of kind of what the theory is behind the 27 Club?
Well, I'm not going to say the theory. Well, my theory I'll get to at the end of the
No, I hear you. I more but like what
synopsis of right.
What the 27 Club is.
Basically, for anyone that's not aware, they're a whole gang of iconic artists, from musicians to like actual painters and whatever the case may be, who have all mysteriously perished at the same age of 27. And people have put together, their different theories as to why they think that happens or what that comes from. And I guess I don't want to skip the gun, but like when you think about the list, right? Like, your Jimi Hendrix, your Janis Joplins, your Kurt Cobains,
Jim Morrison.
Right. Jim Morrison, Michael Jean Basquiat, or Jean Michael Basquiat.
Trying to think of the other one. Amy Winehouse.
Amy Winehouse is a great one.
Anton Yelchin, who's Star Trek.
What's her name? Is it Mia Zapata?
Yes. Yep.
Her. Damn, I can't remember all of them that I had on the list. But the most infamous that everybody talks about, Robert Johnson.
Right. Who has, weirdly enough, Robert Johnson comes up on our show pretty frequently.
Well, that's where we came up with the 27 Club idea.
Right, episode. Was because we were talking about Robert Johnson, right?
What was the context of what we talked about him? I know it was with
Oh, it was something. It had to do with the supernatural. It was in the supernatural conversation when we were talking about like supernatural
About him
abilities.
selling his soul on a crossroads.
Right.
And Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Yep. That's how we kind of got into
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. And that sounds like a very elementary dot connection.
Right.
And I'm not going to go back through it right now, so go tune into that episode. What is that? What are we on today?
This is 92, so
Is
that's
that
probably
what it is?
88 or 89.
Yeah, I think 89.
Yeah, I think it was 89.
But,
Yeah.
basically, with a lot of the people, there is speculation about how they died. Right? Like everybody.
Like the prevailing cause of death mostly is
drug
alcohol
overdose, right.
overdose related, or suicide, or some other violent accident.
Right. And I'm not going to say, of course you put your conspiracy hat on when you talk about things like this, because it's easy to try to debunk or discredit a certain theory about it. But I feel like it's a lot harder to prove it.
In terms of like being able to prove the conspiracy theories.
Right. So I always lean towards the proving of than the discrediting, because it's more fun. You know what
absolutely.
I mean? Like discrediting, you could find a way, you could find a reason for why something does something outside of someone else's reason for anything.
Yeah. Well, and what's interesting, like, I go to almost like the logical standpoint from a sense of, and some of this is putting myself in those shoes when I was, in that 25 to 28 range.
Right.
Including 27. It's the quarter life crisis, man. You're transitioning from
I'm glad you said
youth and like adolescence. And yeah, technically you're an adult at 18. Men especially, brain doesn't, finish developing until like 24 or 25.
25. Mm-hmm.
And so, like, processing with all of that, yeah, depression's common in that age.
Well, see, I'm glad.
And that ties to drug use, alcohol use, suicidal thoughts. Like, those things all kind of, I think,
and dependency
ramp up
as well. And I don't mean dependency from a standpoint of addiction. I mean dependency from a standpoint of, once again, we've already discussed how iconic these figures are. Being pulled in so many different directions and having obligations that you can't get out of.
And you can't manage.
Right. Adds a lot of added stress. I definitely understand that.
Sense of being overwhelmed.
Right. You know what I mean?
Especially
even from doing 2 to 3 podcasts a week, it's like, damn, I got a lot of shit I need to do, but I can't really miss doing this or make an excuse to not do this. And it does sometimes be like, damn, like you just need to cool out for a second. But then it's like regardless of how, I won't even say overwhelmed, but it feels like always having to hit a deadline.
Yeah.
Like, you got to have this done by this time in order to pull this off, so hurry up and get to it. It does get stressful, so I could only imagine how that would feel from not only an entertainer, but world-renowned entertainment's level.
Let's be clear. What you and I do with the network in general is our own doing. Right,
it's casual.
Like, if we really wanted to, we can walk away, or we can skip an episode here or there. A lot of people in those kind of limelights, there are literally contractual obligations that you have to meet.
Right.
And even if it's not contractual, you feel like you have to live up to your fans. You feel like you have to live up to whatever, your bandmates, your spouse.
Same with sports. You perform the best for yourself, but also for the team, for the people next to you. And when you're an entertainer, whether you're up there doing a solo guitar riff, the audience then becomes your team. I can't let them down. I have to perform to the best of my ability for them, the people here for me.
Right.
So I can understand it from that standpoint. And as we both know, you don't always give it your best go.
No.
And sometimes you feel a way about it afterwards, and sometimes you don't. But what I find ironic about that, right, just to kind of discredit, because like I said, I like leaning into the conspiracy a bit more, is one occupation that I would see that would be similar, maybe even worse at times, would be comedians.
Yeah.
And you don't see comedians in the 27 Club. Now, there are a lot of comedians that committed suicide. There are a lot that died.
Here's my theory on that, though.
Okay.
Comedians don't usually get to a level of renown until they're older. You don't see a lot of
That's
young,
a good point.
Like, comedians really make it. They're still cutting their teeth at that point, but...
Well, I don't know. You can name a few. Like, I think immediately to the current generations, Dave Chappelle, who's been doing it since 14 years old. Eddie Murphy.
But did he really reach that level of kind of prime fame?
Before he was 27, he had the Dave Chappelle show at 24.
Was he 24?
Yeah, he was younger.
Now you got me curious. Now I'm going to have to look it up. Keep going.
I'm thinking that's what he said when I was listening to the, what's it called? But I don't think it was before.
He was born in 73. So when was Chappelle's show?
That was 2004.
Was it?
So yeah, he would have had to been over 27.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first season came out in 04, 03.
Yeah, he would have been in his 30s.
Right.
So that's what I mean, though. Like, even comedians you think of
then there was
young,
there
like
was something
Eliza,
that he
Eliza
did.
Schlesinger, who has gotten a lot of fame recently. Like, even she's, our age.
Well, see, even taking it, like, because I definitely understand it from that perspective of, like, being, like, renowned for what you do.
Yeah.
I feel like the only ones that would qualify would be your Eddies. Fuck.
I mean, Pryor was older.
Yeah, Pryor wasn't. Yeah, Pryor was older when he became the legend of Pryor.
Right.
Eddie kind of became the legend of Eddie after Raw. And he was only 20, 21.
So he could have fallen into that camp.
But the whole reason why I bring up comedians is
Especially
because
Charlie Murphy.
Comedians are different from musicians in a sense of, historically, you think of Tears of a Clown.
Yeah.
You don't become a good comedian with an easy life.
No.
You can be a good musician with an easy life, but you can't be a good comedian with an easy life. And I just think their job is more self-deprecating than a musician's is.
Oh, completely.
You can say, as a musician, his music is shit. That doesn't change anything about me. That just means I can't play the guitar.
Right.
But if you say something about a comedian's set, you're essentially attacking
them as a person. Right.
So when you get booed off stage, that's somebody saying, we don't like you, a piece of you, not just your entertainment, you.
Right.
So when I think about comedians that commit suicide, you are correct. They are usually older in their career, but I feel like that pressure would be on them far greater and longer than it would ever be on a musician.
Yeah. Yeah. Because people take breaks from being a musician all the time.
Right.
Comedians kind of, but usually that's...
Usually that's from a lack of success. Like too many bombs, I need a break to come back. Yeah. Now, usually with musicians, it's I'm getting sick of doing the same old shit.
Right.
They love it. I don't.
Right.
I need a break.
Yeah.
So even still, you're getting that ego boost because they still scream for the same old mundane shit that you're getting bored with. But With a comedian, it's like, fuck, what do? I can't change me.
Comedy doesn't transcend time quite as well. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, I could still go back and watch, to your point, like Raw or one of Pryor's sets or whatever.
There's still some comedy that you can watch over and over again, but it isn't the same as music.
Right.
Yeah, it's just not the same as music. And that's why I feel like they get more out of that stage time.
Yeah.
And maybe not. Maybe it's the opposite. Maybe that comedian gets more out of that stage time because they're like, they loved me. They loved me. They loved my set, but they loved me as well because I came up with these ideals.
Yeah. Right.
With music, it's like I didn't even necessarily write it, but I can play it good.
Right. Right.
I'm just up here like this. Meanwhile, everybody's out in the crowd throwing panties and, and you're just up there like, I'm not fulfilled.
I mean, women still throw panties at, like, Clapton. And...
Listen. Right. Old as shit. Old as shit. What they call it? No, I'm going to say that.
Clapton's probably not a good example. He's probably dead, but...
I wouldn't know.
Shit.
But I did find, so to get back on the topic, right? The topic of conspiracy.
No, he's still alive, 76.
Is he? Still got a pair of panties wrapped around his neck.
Thrown at him.
Right. So.
I could change the world.
Is that who that is?
I would be the sunshine in your universe. I think that's Clapton. I don't know.
I don't know. Listen, you asking the wrong guy. I'll tell you that.
I feel like that was, I don't know, Secret Garden, something like that.
I don't know. But to lean into the conspiracy, right? Like, as we stated in this episode, who would you call him? What would you call him? The Prime Minister of the 27 Club? Robert Johnson? I don't know what you would call him. The original, the number one.
The number one?
Right. The number one.
Let's see. Probably the most
well-known, the most documented, I would say. I would say he created it. Like, there wasn't talk of.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, so I'm looking at the Wikipedia. There were 4 people before him, but they were like 1860, 1872, 1880,
right.
1887.
Nobody knows anything about
1911 was Robert Johnson.
When he was born.
That's when he was born, yes. So
yeah, he died
38
August 16th, 38.
Right.
Ooh, that photographic memory, boy. I should get paid. I just don't know how you get paid for
an eidetic memory. Being a spotter for the cartel.
Well, no, because then that just means I have a lot of secrets.
That's true.
Because I don't remember something was off until the memory clicks.
Comes
and
back.
It's like, they did have a camera. I shouldn't say nothing about that. Yeah, that just means I got to keep a lot of secrets at that point. That doesn't help me there.
But yeah.
But, oh yeah, getting back to him though, his death was a poisoned drink at a bar.
Right.
Now, if there's nothing that we know about life, right, it's that we operate under pattern. So to say that all of these cases, when you think of Jimi Hendrix, accidental death from sleeping medication, you think of Janis Joplin's heroin overdose, Amy Winehouse dying from alcohol in the tub, all of that is reminiscent to the original.
Right.
The poison drink at a bar. And if we operate under pattern, I can only imagine that some are coincidence, some are not. But if one is coincidence, are all of them? That's when we get into those questions.
Well, I mean, like the thing with Hendrix, like, belief is he OD'd on sleeping pills.
Right.
No one knows how many he took. Nobody
right.
knows really what he actually took.
Nobody knows if he took the pills, went to sleep, peacefully and somebody else went back in to finish off the job.
Right.
Sounds a lot like Michael Jackson to me, and that doctor got prosecuted.
True.
Jimi Hendrix is just written up as an accident.
Right.
You know what I mean?
He's a 27-year-old kid that went too hard.
Right. Now, here's where we get conspiracy-ish, right? Well, first, let me say before we get conspiracy-ish, I want to put a shout-out out there because I did listen to a podcast. It is What Really Happened by Andrew Jenks.
Okay.
Produced by The Rock, I believe. But he did an episode on the 21 Club. And he interviewed...
21 or 27?
Or the 27 Club.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
You're
27 Club, and he interviewed Amy Winehouse's director, who directed the video Rehab.
Okay. Yep.
And he was basically explaining like the pain she even went through doing that song because she was basically saying she needed help, but no, the people liked her better that way type shit. So
she was almost encouraged to say that way.
Right. Now, he went on to...
I mean, there's some truth in that.
There definitely is some truth in that.
Eminem was trash when he came out of rehab.
Yeah, listen. I don't like my artists well-rounded and mentally healthy.
Mentally stable?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, it's rough to say, but if you're an artist, I don't see how you can be.
Well, no, it's the same thing. It's funny. I'll go back to comedians. Kevin Hart, first 3 or 4 stand-ups, fucking hilarious. He makes it, and he's got money,
right?
And
like
he
the Paper Soldiers stand-ups, he was going hard.
He's not funny anymore.
No, right.
He annoys the shit out of me.
He does. He annoys me too.
Talking about this is my driveway. Like I remember because I went to his show. This is my driveway, and he's showing this fucking mile-long driveway that is lit the whole way down. I'm like, dude, no one in the audience relates to you anymore. Right. You've grown beyond your audience. Right. And you at this point, the white man owns you.
What gets me
putting you in movies with
right. What gets me about him though is the he's almost, and this is going to sound like I'm downing these people, and I'm not downing them. But he's almost like the Nas of comedy, where it's like you grew into how big you were thinking you knew more than everyone else, so let me start schooling you as opposed to humoring you. Right. And it was like, well, wait a minute, I didn't come for a TED Talk. I don't need a motivational speech.
Right. No, I agree with that.
I need to laugh. I'm going through shit.
Right.
And that's where he lost me on that.
Completely agree with you.
But
have you watched True Story?
I don't like it.
I only made it through the first episode.
Yeah, I didn't even make it through the whole episode when the bitch was dead in the bed. Mm-hmm. Because listen, let me tell you something. My brother would be laying next to her. You hear what I'm saying?
I do.
I'm waking up from a hangover. Well, first off, my bitch ass was supposed to tell you that night that you're doing too much. Right. And then I wake up to this. I'm already thinking my career's over. You're dead too. You're dead too. It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
We need to sound clip that one out.
You hear what I'm saying? Right, off of that video too. Right, yep. That's exactly what we need. Listen, because I'm telling you, but as soon as I saw that, I said, I'm not watching this anymore. Yeah, because I know how this goes. And you can't break away from him, and he's a tragic, a jinx in your life. And
you should watch the rest of the episode. You should watch the rest of the episode.
I said that's the only way you get out of this on the up and up is if he's the guy.
So do you want the spoiler for that episode, or are you going to go back and watch it?
I probably ain't going to watch it.
So anybody who's watching True Story, this is a spoiler for the end of episode 1.
If you watching it and you ain't making it through the first episode, then you in the boat with me.
So his brother basically puts him in touch with a dude who disposes of the body. Mm-hmm. Dude, of course, tries to extort him. Mm-hmm. He snaps and he kills the dude who tried to extort him.
Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
Right.
And then chops him up. Like, he makes the dude who extorted him explain how he got rid of the body. And then he strangles the dude.
Kevin Hart himself does it.
Yeah, Kevin Hart takes the dude, strangles him.
I would like to see him do that.
And then...
just to see how he...
The start of episode 2 just starts with him in jail.
Kevin Hart.
Yeah, Kevin Hart's been arrested. So I don't know. Like, I haven't watched episode 2. I just watched, like, the first 30 seconds.
See, that's why he would be gone, too. That's why Wesley would be gone, too.
Right. I hear you. But... I thought that the way they kind of flipped it at the end of the episode where Kevin Hart was basically like, I'm not putting up with this shit, and ended up killing him himself.
You said it. You said it, though, right? You said it when I said that I would like to work in HR with the cartel. I've always been a pretty decent judge of character, and I can't say that...
No, this guy, he tried to extort you.
Listen, I can't...
No good.
I can't
That's
say...
how shit goes bad.
I cannot say for 1 second that I wouldn't honestly be feeling like, oh, your brother's about to be laying in that bed too. Right. So with that being said, if I believe that you're not the right guy for the job, I'm not going to put you in that position.
Right.
So with that being said, if I'm doing my job and you're fucking my job up, that only happens one time.
Mm-hmm. It's okay. It's okay.
Afterwards, listen, I'm telling you,
you're fucked up.
Listen, and you should understand, and that's what the whole movie just kind of, I don't know, or TV show just kind of threw me, right? Because it's like, once you're dealing in, listen, I don't get $1,000 every 2 weeks,
right,
after they take my taxes. Right close, but I'm not there.
Right.
I can't fuck around with that money. Now, you start giving me generational money, now you're playing with my daughter's money.
Right.
You hear what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I can't have anyone around me that would jeopardize that money because, once again, we're playing with house's money now. So that means this is the next generation's money.
Yeah.
I can't have anyone, and watching that show just drives me crazy. It's like, well, I think of you as a bitch, right? Even if you strangled dude that extorted you, you're a bitch for letting it go this far.
Right.
Why didn't you address this sooner? Listen, I don't care if your friends are out. Can I speak to you in private? Because you'd much rather us talk in private than us handle it right here. Right. I'm just letting you know. You keep forcing this alcohol on me, I'm about to get pissed. You hear what I'm saying? Right. All that is driving me crazy. It's like, well, like, why are you playing with him?
Yeah. No, I hear you there. I don't disagree with what you're saying on that front.
I just feel like anybody who doesn't have your best interest at heart is essentially an enemy.
You either with me or you against
Subconsciously,
me.
You're an enemy. You may not be thinking I'm out to hurt you, but you're not thinking about the best me, which means you're hurting me.
Right. I don't disagree with that.
Which is why it's okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
But back to the 27 Club. Yeah, when I think of pattern, right? I think of pattern when I think of that. Beyond that, we were past the pattern because the next connection comes afterwards. But I wanted to say he interviewed Amy Winehouse's director, who disagreed to do the podcast.
Okay.
He actually said that he feels like anybody who speaks on the subject is a detriment because it romanticizes the 27 Club. I couldn't disagree further.
You and I might be on the opposite sides of that coin, but go ahead.
I couldn't disagree further, and I'm going to tell you why. What I think is that his view of the situation has been diluted by his relationship with Amy Winehouse.
Okay.
I think that Amy Winehouse, and I think that all of these people were most likely very, very special people. Like, personally.
Yeah.
They said like the correlations between them where they were all exceptionally smart, like above average high IQs. They all had issues with parenting in their homes. All had issues with drugs and alcohol. That all kind of connected a dot with me, though.
Okay.
But
I think I know where you're going, but go ahead.
Right now, what was? Oh yeah, I think that Amy's relationship with him diluted the situation because I don't think that by speaking about it you would ever be romanticizing the situation. I think what you're doing is you're acknowledging history. And as we all know, if you don't learn the history, you're doomed to repeat it. Now, what I think romanticizes the situation is the fact that we're talking about the greatest artists that ever lived in the history of the world. And the fact that they're all linked together by this death on this date. That's what romanticizes is the fact that you think of who's the best guitarist that ever lived. Well, that'd be Jimi Hendrix.
Right.
Who's one of the best.
Robert Johnson.
Right. Who's one of the best songwriters. Could be Janis Joplin.
Right.
Like, these are people that are the best at their craft, all met similar fates, same date of life.
Yeah.
That romanticizes it. That makes people think, well, if I'm great, I could die at 27. Or maybe even beyond that. Maybe even what I'm getting to in the conspiracy is that what you may not be thinking about is a lot of people would trade length of life for success. If you came to me tonight and said, you'll die at 50, but we can guarantee you this, sign me up. Not selling my soul,
right.
But I'll just die if it. I'm writing it down.
Yeah.
At that point, it's not a romanticized situation. It's this is a choice I'm making to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck who else is died or got the same offer.
Right.
I want a part of it too. I don't think that's a romantic thing. Like I don't think anybody, and I don't want to say anybody because we know that there's always outliers. But I don't think anybody's thinking I'm going to make the best music career or painting career I can and then kill myself at 27 so I can be in this club.
Right.
That seems a little far-fetched to me. Because you think about it, and I was going to get here too. The last two most recent people that were a part of the 27 Club, Aaron Hernandez, the tight end from the Patriots, which I wouldn't include in that bunch.
No, I wouldn't.
And a rapper out of Chicago that came up with Chief Keef, Fredo Santana.
Yeah.
I would not consider him to be either, just for the simple fact that you came from the Black Mafia. Chicago, the birthplace of gangbanging, right? Your grandpa was a gangbanger, your dad was a gangbanger, you're a gangbanger. Making it to 27 in that situation, I'm pretty sure that's a plus.
Right.
Right. Regardless of if you had a music career or not, the area that you're in and the lifestyle that your entire family lives, I would imagine would prevent you from making it that close.
Making it to that, yeah.
So I don't consider those most recent cases to be
No, I don't
included.
put Hernandez on there at all.
Right.
But
Now, he was great at what he did, and I do feel like he fell short of ever being what he had the potential of being. But if we're talking
he was
about
psychotic for longer, though.
Right. Right. And I also feel like if the conspiracy is true and you're selling your soul for something, you have to achieve it as well. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't think you die at 27 without achieving the thing that you sold your soul for.
To do.
I don't think just making it to the league was enough for that trade.
Yeah.
You had to have been successful at your position as well.
True.
To get out of there and be a great in the 27 Club.
Yeah. And it's hard, especially in the NFL or
sports
in general, to make it to that level of greatness in 3 years, basically.
I don't even think I saw a sports player on there.
No, and I don't think that traditionally that's included. I think that usually it's artists, musicians, actors.
Because it's easier to give someone an ability than a attribute. With sports, it comes with attributes, because even if you're the best, he gave me sure hands.
Yep.
I got the best hands. I gave my soul to the devil to get the best hands.
But I'm 5'1", $150.
5'1", $150, and I'm running 6'2", 40. That doesn't help you at all.
No.
So I feel like sports is a little different because you're kind of gifted that on the opposite end.
Yeah.
By God. You know what I mean? God gives you those abilities, and that's why you're successful at them, because you were born with them. You didn't just cross the crossroad and come back knowing how to play the guitar.
Right.
So I feel like that's a little different. But I'll tell you what, I'll jump into my conspiracy, but I gotta take a piss, so it's up to you if you would like to run it or
let's go ahead and take a quick break. We'll be back in 3 to 5. Quick shout outs to the chat. Angie, sorry there's no sing along tonight. We'll see how the show goes.
We'll see if we sing the Devil's Blues by Robert Johnson.
And shout out to Malk. What up? All right.
Fuck you, Malk.
We'll be back in a sec. And we're back for real this time. Oh, shit happens. What are you going to do?
Where do we leave off?
You were about to go into your conspiracy theory.
Right, okay. So here's my conspiracy, right? Because I know that the original story with Robert Johnson is that he crossed the railroad tracks and made a deal with the devil for guitar scales, right? Now, I'm not above thinking that's not true, right?
Right.
Now, I don't necessarily think that it is the devil in a sense, if that makes sense, But what I will say is, when you look back over history at the number 27,
Okay.
like even in the podcast they was talking about it too, and I saw some because I'm gonna tell you where my mind went after I explain this. So in Greek and Christian mythology, they said, or in belief, they said that the number 27 was the sign of the soul leaving its body and being absorbed back into its creator.
Okay.
In Buddhism, the number 27 is the highest form of enlightenment.
Gotcha.
Hold up, there were like 3 others I'm trying to think of. Trying to see the paper. Damn it, that's gonna bother me. They might come to me later. But there are a couple other things that end with 27, right?
Yep.
In my understanding, right? The Bible, Genesis, the 27th verse is when man was created. But when you think about that, right? Like, not from a devil standpoint, but if there is something, like whether it be a simulation, whether it be a higher power, like we talked about, and when I say higher power, I don't mean God. I mean like a alien society that's far more developed than we are, and we're the ant farm that they watch and observe.
Yeah.
Then if all of that has been written about the number 27, if I was the higher power, I would think that that would be an even good number for you.
Right.
Right? So
like a good time to harvest.
Right. So not even harvest, but it's like Buddhism, Christianity, Greek, all that, all 27 ends. So if I give them this power and say it ends at 27, that's the good deal for them. Like, they're thinking that's them doing us a favor. Like, that's more to us.
Gotcha.
When all actuality, we would love to live beyond that.
Right.
But just because the Buddhists and the Christians and the Greeks wrote about it doesn't mean I want to go on that date.
Mm-hmm.
But thinking from someone that studied what we studied to understand us, that would make sense that you would choose that number 27 to take someone out at.
Yeah.
Because once again, we're talking about the greatest at their craft.
Yeah.
The greatest at their craft, all being taken at 27, that seems conspiracy-ish. That seems like it's beyond the realm of thought, especially when you go back and think that the first one was poisoned.
Right.
It wasn't like he died comfortably in his home.
No.
Somebody interfered to take him out.
Right. Well, I mean, is that the bigger play? Is that the bigger conspiracy? I mean, obviously that is a conspiracy with the 27 Club, is that those people are...
None of them died of natural causes. You know what I
Right.
mean? They all had something suspicious with their death.
Yeah.
But I think even if you were to say a devil or a being beyond our years, that's not to say that you don't use minions to act.
True. Fair.
You know? You never do it yourself. You have somebody lesser than you take care of it, so it never comes back to you.
Right.
So if I have somebody else that wants the same deal, do this for me.
Yeah.
We'll talk. How old are you? 28? Just missed it. Sorry.
can't do you.
Right. Right. We don't have a 56 club. I'm sorry. When did Brody Stevens die?
Shit, I don't know.
See if you can look that up for me.
Yep.
I don't think it was 56, though. I think it was like 47 or something like that. 48.
48.
48. See?
Yeah.
Cartel, hire me. I'm telling you, something about numbers and shit with me. I remember them.
Oh, I don't know.
And I've never even seen one of his comedy specials.
There you go.
I have seen pieces. I have seen pieces. I've seen clips. I haven't sat and seen it. He was funny.
Full stand.
All right.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, when I think about, like, comedians, I just feel like, how did you manage for so long? Then we can give them an out and put it to mental health.
Meaning comedians?
Meaning comedians and entertainers. Like, we can
Yeah.
say that entertainer committed suicide because of mental health at the age of 27, needing, not beyond the fact that they have everything in the world, while
Right.
that comedian who's struggling still to obtain success, or maybe even a firm, stable balance monetarily, lived to 56 before they decided they wanted to do that.
Right.
That just seems odd to me. Like, it's like,
It is odd. But again, I wonder if that's tied to, like... I wonder if that's tied to getting to a certain level. It takes longer to get to a certain level of recognition.
Right, and yeah, I did agree with your point when you made that. Another thing that I will say, so this is another, right, because my immediate reaction wasn't like, you signed a deal with the devil. I thought more so simulationally. Mm-hmm. So I thought to myself, that's interesting.
Once you reach this point in the simulation, 27's as far as it goes. There's no math for after that.
So here's where my realm of thinking went.
If you're the one, you can only be 27 years old.
We don't know what else you could accomplish beyond that.
Right.
You know, like, that could be your Dune moment where now this motherfucker turned into a worm. He got so good at what he was doing.
Or the, That's
another good point. The 30-year rule.
30-year rule?
You commit to anything for 30 years, you'll become a master at it. And if everybody falls short by 3 years, minus the time that, but some kids start as children.
Right. Well, and the flip side of that too is like, if you want to go with the simulation theory, is that the point where you cross over and become the Neo? The agents take you out at that point.
Right. And it might not even be take you out as a sense of killing you. It could be taking you out of the physical world and putting you where you're more needed here.
Yep.
You've elevated.
You've either elevated or you hit a point where you were going to break the simulation and they rebooted you.
I feel like a lot of dumb motherfuckers have a better shot at breaking the simulation than the smart
ones?
Because the smart ones, right, are, well, I don't know. And then that was another thing when you said, and I'm kind of wondering, I know I'm bouncing, but I'm kind of wondering what your take was when I said the fact that they all were hella smart, they all had drug problems, and they all had issues with parents in their home. My first thought was, if I was a higher being, that would be the one I would want.
Right. You want the one that's been through pain, been through tragedy.
The one that everybody writes off, no one would believe, but is smart enough to comprehend what I'm offering.
Yeah.
And we've talked about it. Maybe I've talked about it, where they say, like, shrooms, LSD, like, could thin the realm of.
Mm-hmm. It thins the veil.
Right. Everybody always has, like, when they say, and
without confirming or denying.
Right.
Allegedly.
Say that you see faces in walls. You know what I mean? And I've experienced that. Like, where you see, like, it's like a pushing. Like, you can look at a wall and you'll see, like, something pushing.
Push against it.
Right. Like, and it looks real, right? But you know you're tripping. But it's like the fact that everybody sees the same thing lets you know there's something real about it.
Yeah. Well, and that goes back to our supernatural conversation, right? Is that if you're at a certain level, and it ties in with what you said about, the 27th level of enlightenment. If you're at a certain level of enlightenment, it is quite possible that you are operating on a different plane at that point.
Right.
And if you're operating at a different plane, or you're trying to maintain your ability to operate at a different plane, drugs, alcohol, those kind of things, that may be what kind of puts you in that zone.
That's the spice.
It's funny. I'm talking like Pixar, the movie Soul. Again, you need to watch it.
I haven't seen it. Yeah.
They talk about when a musician or an artist gets in the zone, they cross over from the physical to the metaphysical.
I believe that.
And
I believe Jimi Hendrix did that on stage.
Right. And that is a temporary moment of being able to do that while you're in that zone. But eventually that zone breaks.
Right.
And you get pulled back to this side of the reality.
I've had that in sports.
I don't disagree.
Where it feels like you can't do wrong. Like, it's like, well, let me try this because everything else is working.
Right.
And it's
I'm on
like,
fire right now, and I can't miss, or
right.
I
or
can't
he
be
can't
blocked.
touch me.
Or,
like, I feel like I'm fighting a kid right now.
Right.
I couldn't imagine. But to be, I guess you're right. I guess I'm kind of leaning with you, right? Because to be able to accomplish that night in and night out has to get you closer.
It has to get you closer, and it also almost becomes a drug in and of itself. So, like, if you're using to basically, and you start building up a dependency to whatever you're using to get to that state,
right?
What's the only thing somebody that's dependent can do to achieve that same state? Up the ante.
Right.
And that's not to say, like, that's dependency in general. Like, that's addiction. That's whatever. Fine. But I think we write off addiction we try to write it off as like, oh, they just didn't have self-control, or they couldn't do X, Y, or Z, or whatever. I believe in some circumstances, it's quite possible that whether you want to call it a high or whatever, it might be that deep. It might be that you're crossing over.
I've been there. I've been there before. Not like, like with nothing like that. But like I've felt like, damn, I gotta perform and I ain't even smoked a blunt. Like I'm not loose. Like I feel tense. Like and then you do a couple performances on smoking and all that, and you like, yeah, I like the way I feel when I do that. When you do go up without it, you question if you can still achieve the same things you achieved on it.
Right.
Am I going to be loose enough to have a good show, or will they see how nervous I am because I haven't smoked and
right, because I haven't
tense.
dulled my senses or done whatever. Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely could imagine that, but I don't think I don't think that you could box everyone on the list into that.
No, because there's
especially Amy Winehouse.
Yeah.
When you think about her alcohol addiction.
Right.
Alcohol, cigarettes, all that you would think would dim the vocals.
Right.
You're not going to be able to perform at your optimum doing those things, yet you do those things while you sing. So she was actually different. She was the person that was running the cross-country race with a backpack full of rocks.
Yeah.
I'll put rocks on my back, something that'll stop me from being great and still be great, where others were like, no, I'll take some cocaine and feel like I'm flying through this bitch.
Yeah. Where she was trying to slow it down.
Right. That's where it's a lot of them that are like, it's weird. Like, it just seems
Amy,
weird.
like, I almost relate more to the Amy side from a, like, using it to dull the senses or to dull the mind from a standpoint of when your mind never shuts down, sometimes you need something to shut it down.
Right. No, I think that's why I drink
I personally have fallen into that.
I think that's
trap.
why I drink a lot.
Yeah.
But no, to the opposite, this is even more, and of course I have no problem incriminating myself. So, when I fought in the Tough Man in 2017, right, I was having issues with my knee, as you know.
Yep.
So, I would take Tramadol, not overdo it or anything, but I would take one before I went to the gym so I didn't feel the pain while I was running or doing whatever. And I noticed, well, I didn't even notice it then. Let me stop, right? So I took it before the what's the name to train. About a week before the fight, of course, I didn't take anything because I didn't know if they was going to make me piss or what the case was. So I didn't take anything. And then I went and I fought. And I just toughed it out, right? I came back and I sparred with a tramadol pill, like thinking like, okay, yeah, I'm working out.
Yeah.
Take the pill. I swear I felt like, I don't know how to describe it. I don't know how to describe the feeling, but it felt like almost like I could control my heart. You know what I mean? Like when I got backed up, it was like, no panic. We're good here. Move them out the way. Get back to it type shit. Like it was like I had more breath, more wind. I felt more comfortable. And it made me want to keep doing that.
Right.
But I started thinking like, no, because if they drug test you, you're then going to be fighting with those rocks on your back.
Right.
So you need to be good
without it. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So I can imagine what it's like for somebody to fall all the way into that hole.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I still don't know if I would put it to that big of a coincidence that all those greats perished at that age.
No, and I don't know. Like I've
it's just weird.
It is weird, and the flip side of it is that I don't know what kind of research has been done in terms of like, is it a statistically significant spike or is it just a coincidence? And it ends up that it seems like it's just a coincidence.
Yeah, it seems like a very odd one because they did do on that podcast I was talking about what really happened. He said that there was I can't remember her name, but she did a study on it and found that. But see, even the study, now that I think about it, is skewed, right?
Yeah.
Because she did a study with other artists, musicians, artists, all that, and found that 1.2 out of the entire percent died before 27. I think 25 or 26. 1.3 died at 27. And then
the rest died at other ages.
But beyond the rest, there was like a 1.5, like where it jumped up 2 points of a point at 28. And they were like, well, you know, basically by this logic, why wouldn't they say the 28 then? Well, here's the thing. Those aren't greats.
Right, okay.
You're not basing your...
You're using the wrong sample. You're using
all artists.
Right.
These are greats, though.
These are people that are still revered in terms of like their abilities to this day.
To this day. So if you use it off of greats like that, then I'm sure it goes from 1.3 to 75%.
Yeah.
Because when you think about all the musicians that we had, you go through that list and you're like, damn, those are some heavy hitters. It's a lot of top fives on there.
It would be interesting to do it against, like, to your point,
the highest level
of the high. But then you're at subjective, right?
Of who's the highest of the high.
Right. I mean, are you doing it based on sales or are you doing it based on, like,
you
gotta have some quantifiable metric there.
Right. You are right. You're right there.
Because otherwise, it's subjective.
Right. Who's the best?
Right. And what classifies the best?
Right.
I mean, part of being artistic is that it's unique.
Because they said your boy Robert Johnson only had that one song. That was his only ever song, but you changed the face of music.
Right.
So you wouldn't be considered a best, a great, by that logic of you only had that one hit wonder.
Right.
But when you think about what you did in terms of the way people play the guitar now, nobody else Hendrix wouldn't even match to that.
No. So again, it's like, are they transformative?
Right.
Voice of a motherfucking generation.
Right.
I'm the voice of a generation.
That's interesting. I think that you were the closest. I think that I agree with you the most out of all of it, where, like you said, if you do reach that highest level, there's not really anywhere else for you to go.
Right.
It's almost like it's not even a death, but a transformity.
Yeah. Transformation.
Right. From that sense, then I could see why he would say it's romanticized.
Yeah.
Thinking about it from that way. But I don't know that everybody connects those dots.
But again, I would want to see that, again, to your point, against other greats.
Right.
Right? Like, I'm sure we could classify a number of artists who are, you know...
Willie Nelson's old ass.
Right.
He talk would be Clapton, on my all-time
talk about
great.
Fucking...
He's still kicking
Elton. Like...
Right. Right? Right. No, that's right.
Yeah. So that's where I'm like, it gets subjective at that point.
Right. But at the same time, that's when it then the question becomes, were you just that great?
Yeah.
Was that an attribute? Like how we
was
talked
that an
about
attribute versus a deal?
When we talk about Michael Jackson, Prince, like were you born with that? Whereas I didn't have to ask for it.
Right.
I didn't have to hope somebody magically appeared in my bedroom and offered me a mysterious offer.
Right.
I had this in me from birth.
Yeah. You know what else would be interesting? Looking at those people and what their contracts were like when did their contracts expire? You know what I mean? Like, even from just a pure business standpoint.
I think you just made a part two. I think you...
Can we go deeper into this? Can we talk about, like, where was Amy Winehouse in her deal at that point?
Right. I think you just made a part two.
Was her deal out and she was like, fuck it, I'm done? Because
we kind of talked about that when we talked about Basquiat and all that, about how you kill off the person that makes the good shit and your shit suddenly begins to increase.
Yep.
They're talking about that right now with Virgil from the Off-Whites. Motherfucker had $1,000 pair of Off-Whites that are now $30,000 because he passed away.
Yep.
Now we're talking about a $30,000 or a 30% increase, or 3,000%
right
increase.
Well, no doubt.
I know a lot of people that have killed people for that.
Well, and on that is almost more believable to me. That these overdoses or these violent deaths that were accidents, where were they at in their contracts? And were
did they have their masters who owned their...
Well, and on top of that, like at that point, all right, well, I know if she dies today, these records are going to sell better. And if she doesn't die today, she's going to sign with another label and we don't get anything else out of her.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No, I definitely know what you mean.
Capitalistic bullshit, I believe that 110%.
Yeah, I believe
from a conspiracy theory
right.
standpoint.
And that's really what it comes down to, I guess, at the end of the day. Because like I said, I feel like the pattern comes from the fact that the first was poisoned. So if you got away with it once, you know what I mean?
Right.
I'm sure you'll try it again.
Right. No doubt. Because you know that's what happened to Robert Johnson.
No, they was just like, no, I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna say that. I'll be nice.
You'll be nice.
I done gave y'all enough this episode with buying the
Oh, were you gonna go after white folks again?
Yes, I was. Yes, I was.
That's fair. We probably deserve it.
Was. Talking about that guitar playing too, and he just came up with a whole new genre on your bitch ass.
Right.
Like we were.
Which we immediately stole.
We were bluegrassing it, and then he just bluesed it, and then Jimi Hendrix just rock and rolled it. Listen, I get it.
Yeah, it's the capitalistic
side.
Well, no,
it wouldn't have been
seems...
Jimmy, right? It would have been who is it? Who is the one dude? It's not Billie Holiday. The dude, it was a black dude that couldn't get any work, so he put up pictures of a white dude, and then he would come and perform.
Oh no, I don't know.
That's not Billie Holiday. I can't think of who he is, but it was a black dude who made music, and he couldn't book any place, so he would send flyers with a white dude's face on it. Then he would show up and play, and that they would start to like him.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name though. But basically what I'm getting at is before Elvis stole rock and roll. who that guy was.
Whoever that was.
And it wouldn't have been.
And obviously was successful in terms of it being stolen, because we don't know his name, but we know.
Well, that's where the Beach Boys came from. You know? True. The Beach Boys jacked all the black songs and made them their own.
Well, good artists borrow, great artists steal.
Listen, I can't say that I heard a couple of Beach Boys songs. I can't say I didn't like them. No, I'm sure I would like the Chop and Screwed version better.
Right.
So I'm mad that they erased that, and we never get to hear the original.
Right.
But I can't say I don't like the Beach Boys.
There you go.
Surfing USA, bitch.
Everybody was surfing.
Listen, they never hit a surfboard in my life. They never waxed a motherfucking wave in my life. But I like some Surfing USA, baby.
There you go. Oh, man. Well, we're about an hour 40. You got any other topics? Or you want to call it?
Let me think. I don't know, man. Yeah, I don't know. You don't got nothing?
Nah, not today.
You over there
I will,
like
I will have
the younger, swoller Joe Rogan. Like a young, swollen Joe Rogan over there. Got his tat.
I do. And I'm getting the other one done on January 12th.
I told you. Listen, I tell no
lies.
Lies.
It's a symmetric thing, man. Like it's a
symmetry
thing.
Now, that's
I
what,
can't
that's
have it
what
on
starts
one
to
arm.
get you, though.
It's the other arm
That's what starts to get you, because then now it's symmetrical. We're evened out again, and then you say, "Well, I need some ink therapy," and then you gotta even it out again.
No, dude that did it. When I was talking to him about the concept for the next one, he's like, "Well, how soon you want to get it done?" I'm like, "How soon can you get me in?" He's like, "Real talk, it's on the other arm. If you want to come back next week," I'm like, all right. Can we do like mid-January?
I gotta get some myself. I gotta get my neck.
I've got more space than you do.
Yeah, I mean, but I gotta sleeve everything up.
Yeah.
At least my arms. I'm not really worried about my chest and my stomach till I lose a couple more.
No, I feel you.
It probably is best to get it done now while I got fat on me, though, than having them cut through muscle.
Well, that and, like, my philosophy with it was I didn't want to get this done until I had a solid, like, 4 or 6 weeks back. Because my arms and my chest, like, they come back quick.
Well,
for me.
arms, even when it's muscle, it doesn't.
Yeah, it wasn't
really, bad. But when you're in, like, the abs.
Oh, no, I'm not
like,
fucking with. Well, first of all, I haven't seen my abs in 20 years.
You'll feel it, though. I guarantee you get your stomach done, you'll be like, I didn't even know I had abs, but you're touching them, motherfucker.
I don't think you got to worry about that one with me. Maybe my back. No, I would do my back before my abs.
Watch you lose a couple pounds and you in the mirror looking at your arms. You're going to be like, time to get my chest.
I'd have to do something around the chest hair triangle, though.
Yeah.
I'm not getting rid of the chest hair triangle.
Listen, I'm telling you, it's a different look when you about to. Let me stop.
Nope, you're right.
It's a different look when you are about to get intimate with a woman and you take your shirt off and she sees your tats.
No doubt. You're more fun to look at naked.
That's all I'll say.
And that goes both ways. Women are more fun to look at naked when they're tatted up, too.
I like a tatted woman. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
I do like a tatted woman. I'm not going to lie about that.
Yeah, I'm with you. No arguments here.
It depends on the kind, though, too, because sometimes it could be too much where it's like, you kind of overdid it.
I guess it depends, too. Like, I'm a fan of, like,
I'm a black and gray guy.
Yeah.
I don't like all the like where your color covers the skin. Like I want your skin. You know, like I want to see skin.
That's where like I think from a preference in the other gender, I think some color on the arms and like maybe like half sleeves.
Wait, what? What you said? Preference in the other gender?
Yeah, so preference with women, like for me, in terms of ink, is like I actually like the almost half sleeve look on a female.
What, like arms?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I like all that.
Like here up.
But I want to be able to see. That's why I say black and gray. I want to be able to see your skin in between your tats. I don't like it when girls get like the color and they fill their whole arm.
I got you.
With the color because it's like I can't see your skin.
Right. I hear you on that.
I like skin tone too, and you covered it all.
Yeah. No, I feel you on that. That was my like. I'm with you in the. And even when I got this one, like my big thing to him was like I like the concept of negative space.
Right. Yeah, I need
especially being as pale fuck as I am.
Well, see, those are the best tattoos,
but it works out well because like shit's legible. Like he wanted to go grayscale, and I'm like, nah, I'm white enough. I don't need grayscale. Give me the lines, and
I like
I'll feel
grayscale
good.
though on white folks.
Do you?
But that's when it looks more prison tattoo-ish.
Yeah. Well. We'll see. The other. I'll talk to you about the other concept. I'm not gonna bring that one up on the show.
But listen, let anybody else tell it. That's all I got is prison tattoos. So ain't never been to jail, but apparently I can get the same work in there for half the price.
Right. You know what you could do? You could be a professional tattooer for the cartel.
Listen, nah, you mess up them motherfuckers. I ain't messing you up, G.
They need those barcodes.
Crooked teardrop. I need to be able to back up into the bushes. You don't need to be staring into my eyes while I'm looking down at your arm the whole time. Fuck that. But you send me the openings, I'll send you the resume.
There you go. Yo, I will, and I've already tagged him on Instagram. I will give the
cartel.
No, not the cartel. I do want to shout out Aaron over at Sacred Hand Tattoo Society over there on Parsons. He did phenomenal work, and you know. It was funny when I was getting it even shaded in, like there were 3 or 4 other people in the shop, and I know tattoo artists like do this shit all the time
to kind of boost it. Yeah, that's about to be hot.
Right, right. Those words were not spoken to any of the other 2 or 3 people that were in the tattoo shop while I was there. So, dude does good work.
Right.
His like I trust him from like I gave him concepts. And I'm like, I trust what you're putting together, so go for it. But, yeah. So, shout out. Aaron Crubbard on...
Aaron?
Aaron Crubbard on IG. Follow his shit.
I might have to see what he's about, see if I want to get something done from him.
Like I said, he does good work. I mean, you saw what he did the first night in basically 2 hours.
Right.
And then this one, he took his time with it. But he only charged me for an hour, hour and a half.
So he charges by the hour, then I take
it.
Yeah, that's not bad. It depends on what your price is.
Right. And to be frank, I heard other people.
That you're not gonna slow roll me because a lot of people charge for an hour and they'll slow roll your ass. And it's like you can be doing this a little quicker than that.
No doubt. And that was the thing. Like
I could do it myself quicker than that.
He was actually surprised. Like. When I came back in, he's like, yeah, man, like, I thought I still had to do the lettering, and then I forgot that he had stenciled it all out. Like, literally all he did was shading. Mm-hmm. And again, he took his time with the shading, but didn't charge me like he took his time. So, and I think it didn't hurt that I told him that I wanted to come back in a month.
Right. Yeah, no, it's like, never mind, let me stop.
It's not quite first one's free, but...
Right. Let me stop. I'll stop.
He did let my shit roll over, though, so...
You said what? He did what now?
I had a deposit, and he let it roll over. He's like, that's cool.
Right. So you have to pay again.
Yeah. But, yeah. Does good work, man.
That's what's up. Shout out,
it's a pretty chill shop, too. over there on Parsons and Whittier.
Do I know? What's the name of the shop?
Sacred Hand Tattoo Society.
Okay, no, that's not what. How long have they been there?
A couple of years.
Yeah, then no, it's not. Yeah, it's not what.
It was something else before. It was a different shop before that, I think. I don't remember for sure how long it's been Sacred Hand, but it's been Sacred Hand for probably the last 10 years. Now that I'm thinking back.
I might know it. I mean, know it like know the people in it, but...
Yeah, I mean, it's right on the corner of Parsons and Whittier.
Excuse me.
Right across from that, Marathon gas station.
Because it was a dude that had a studio that was over in that area.
Gotcha.
That I used to mess with.
That was me, Cliff. No, I'm just fucking with you.
This is a business front.
All right.
This wasn't the house.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm about ready for some ink therapy, though.
Yeah. Anything in mind?
I know I got to get my neck fixed. I got to get this filled in and shaped out correctly. And then I might do, nothing above the collar, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Fill in the spot just to connect it with this.
That there.
And then I want to, fill in the open spaces and touch up the old tattoos. But other than that, I'll wait on my stomach and my chest until I...
Meanwhile, I was going the other way. I wanted to bulk a little bit before I got the arm. And
well, I got this back when I was bulked.
I feel better when it shrinks after I stop working out again.
Listen. Right, my tattoos shrinking. They said they was going to get big and stretch. Mine getting smaller.
What are you going to do? All right, dude.
In the gym eventually.
It's about that time.
Yeah.
You got anything to take us out?
Love everybody.
There we go. We're back to that.
I think I said that last week.
I think I did, because you didn't. But you might be right. Roll the tape.
Roll the tape. Don't sign no soulful contracts.
No selling your soul for getting to 27. Unless you're after 27, and then fuck it, go for it. See what kind of deal you can get.
Listen, might be that new club.
There you go. All right, well, do us a favor. Like, share, subscribe, all that good shit. You find us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that shit.
Find us, baby.
Take some time. Listen over the break. Catch up with us.
Right. See if you like it.
If you like it, maybe tell a friend.
Tell a friend to tell a friend.
That's all I got. Peace out, fools.
Holla at me, El Chapo.